Okay, everybody, and welcome back. We are going to be moving on to section 1.4. Just so you know, we do not do section 1.3, so you're not missing anything if you were wondering. For 1.4, we're going to be moving on to our exponents, which is our second standard right here for the chapter. So it says, I can use properties of exponents to simplify and rewrite radical expressions. 1.4 properties of exponents. We're first going to start with two properties. We have the zero exponent and the negative exponent. As we go through this section, some of this should be review for you. So if you're sitting here going, oh, I know this or I've learned this before, fantastic. Now, your zero exponent. I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible. So a to the zero power. If you have any non-zero number raised to the zero power, that's 1. Negative exponents, if I have a to the negative n power, we're going to do our reciprocal here, which is going to make this 1 over a to the positive n power. So essentially a negative exponent does the reciprocal. You would write it in the denominator and then it becomes positive. So let's take a look at a couple of these examples. So letter A, it says simplify each expression. Write your answer using only positive exponents. Letter A simply says 6.7 to the 0 power. Anything raised to the 0 power is 1. And we're done. Letter D, and I realize I didn't go down the page A, B, C. I went across the page to letter D, so just make sure you're with me here. So letter D is negative 2 in parentheses to the negative 4th power. So a negative power acts as a reciprocal. So we're going to put a 1 in the numerator. We're going to take our negative 2 and leave the parentheses, move it down to the denominator. And then instead of having a negative 4th power, that's going to give us a positive 4th power. So you do the reciprocal and then it becomes positive. Now we're going to simplify this as much as we possibly can. So 1 over negative 2 to the 4th power means negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. If you have a calculator, that would work as well. Just make sure you use parentheses here. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. And then 4 times 4 is 16. So 1/16. Letter B, 4x to the 0 power over y to the negative 3rd. Now, in the numerator, the first thing I want you to notice is we do have a 0 power, but is that 0 power attached to the x, attached to the 4, or attached to the 4 and the x? And the answer here is it's only attached to the x. So really, when we're doing the 0 power, it's just x to the 0 power. So anything attached to our 0 power, this is going to go to 1. But then we still have our 4. So in your numerator, we've really got 4 times 1 over y to the negative 3. And then I could simplify that, just 4 over y to the negative 3. Now I'm going to deal with my negative power because we're not allowed to leave those in our answer. So if the negative power is in the numerator, we do the reciprocal and we bring it down to the denominator. Well, this time the negative power is in the denominator, so we're going to do the reciprocal and we're going to bring it up to the numerator. So in the numerator, I'm going to have my 4 times my y to the 3rd power, which becomes positive when I do the reciprocal, over 1 because there's nothing left here. Now, do you need a 1 in the denominator? And the answer is no. So it's just 4y cubed. Letter E, negative 5 to the 0 power over 2 to the negative 2. Now, once again with this 0 power, here's your question. Is the 0 power attached to the 5? Is the 0 power attached to the negative? Or is the 0 power attached to the negative 5? And the answer here is because there are no parentheses, that 0 power is only attached to the 5. So that negative is kind of out here on its own. And then 5 to the 0 is going to go to 1, but we still have the negative. So when this simplifies, it's going to simplify to negative 1 over 2 to the negative 2. Then I don't like the negative power, So the negative power, we're going to do the reciprocal. We're going to bring it up to the numerator. So we're going to have negative 1 times 2 to the positive 2 over 1. Now, again, do we need the 1 in the denominator? No, so we're going to get rid of it. And then in the numerator, we're going to simplify. So 2 squared is 4. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. So our answer here, negative 4. Letter C, 3 to the negative 2 times x to the negative 5 over y to the 0. So the first thing I'm going to look at here is my y to the 0 power. Anything to the 0 power is going to simplify to 1. So my denominator is going to go to 1. Then I'm going to have 3 to the negative 2, x to the negative 5. Then I'm going to address the negative exponents. 3 to the negative 2, we're going to do the reciprocal and bring him down to the denominator. X to the negative 5, we're going to do the reciprocal and bring him down to the denominator. So if we bring both of them down to the denominator, what's left in the numerator? We're just going to put a placeholder for now. And then we're going to have 3 squared times x to the 5th. Then we're going to clean this up. 1 over 3 squared is 9, x to the 5th. And do you need to keep a placeholder in the numerator? Yes.